Hello, friends and family. Thank you so much for joining us once again for another day. We're on day 28 in our journey together during this Lenten season. We've entitled, Put It On the Altar. Pray, friends, that you know the drill. You make sure you like, you share, and what? Subscribe. I say it every time. I pray you're actually doing it. Today, friends, we're going to Genesis chapter 22 again. I know by now you could probably quote the whole entire chapter, but there are moments in which we need to slow walk the text so we can see the depth of the text, Join me in Genesis 22. We're going to verse 11. Verse 11, it says these words, "But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, 'Abraham, Abraham, here I am,' he replied." Today, let's talk about God as Jehovah Shammah. Yeah, Jehovah Shammah. I ain't gonna have you put that in the chat because you may not know how to spell Shammah, right? Jehovah Shammah. Friends, I want you to know that God is an on-time God. Say one more time. God truly is an on-time God. I know in the chat you're gonna say, yes, he is. But friends, many of us struggle with his timing. In our fast-paced world, we are conditioned to expect things to happen according to our schedules and within our time frames. We have clocks, calendars, deadlines that dictate our lives. Yet God operates on a different timeline. Matter of fact, it's a perfect one that doesn't align with our human sense of urgency. We often find ourselves in moments of impatience, wondering why God isn't showing up when we think he should. But even though his timing doesn't always match our expectations, the truth remains that God is always on time. In Genesis chapter 22, we encounter a profound example of God's perfect timing. God asked Abraham to do something that seems utterly impossible, to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac. Abraham's faith is tested in the most unimaginable way. But he doesn't question God's command. Instead, he rises early and prepares to fulfill it. As Abraham takes the knife in his hand, ready to strike, he hears a voice calling his name from heaven. The voice of an angel calls out at the very last moment, just as Abraham is about to sacrifice Isaac, stopping him in his tracks. It's as if time itself pauses, and Abraham is given a chance to listen, to reflect, and to obey. This is where we encounter a powerful revelation of God's nature. He is Jehovah Shammah, which means the Lord is present or the Lord is on time. This story speaks volumes about God's presence and his divine timing. While Abraham was preparing to do the unthinkable, God intervened at just the right moment. It wasn't before when Abraham received the command, nor was it after when he had gone through the motions. It was at a critical moment when everything seemed to be falling apart. That's when God showed up, exactly when he was needed. This moment reminds us that God's presence isn't distant or disconnected from our trials. He is present right when we need him most, even when it seems like there is no way out. In our own journeys of faith, we often face moments of doubt and struggle. We encounter situations where the path ahead looks bleak or impossible, where we're confronted with hardships and loss and challenges that seem too heavy for us to bear. But just as with Abraham, God is never late. He shows up right on time. Sometimes it may feel like he's taken too long, but we must remember that his timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our plans. Friends, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your life and consider the instances where you face difficult situations and you thought that there was no way out. Times when you felt like giving up, yet somehow, when it seemed like there was no hope left, God stepped in right on time. He provided a solution. He rendered a way out. He gave you strength to endure right when you needed it the most. It might not have happened on your schedule, but looking back, you can see that God's timing was perfect, that God's timing was flawless. And friends, just as you reflect what had happened, know that if he's done it before, he can do it again. Remember, God's faithfulness is not limited to the past moments in our lives. If he was there for you before, he will be there again in the future. Jehovah Shammah, the God who is present, the one who will show up right on time, just as he's done it in the past, he'll do it again. He is never late. He is never absent, and he will never leave you in a time of need. Even when the future seems uncertain, you can trust he'll be there. You don't have to fear the unknown, because Jehovah Shammah is always present, ready to show up in your life with his perfect timing. I'm done, but today don't be disheartened by delays or waiting periods. I know you've been praying for it. I know you've been fasting for it. I know you've been keep asking God, but friends, don't you be disheartened by delays or waiting periods. Trusting that God is always working behind the scenes, preparing everything to unfold in his perfect time. He is an on-time God, and his presence is more than just comfort. It's a guarantee that we will never be left without help or provision or guidance when we need it most. Jehovah Shammah he is always there. He's always on time. Friends, keep tracking along with us in this journey as we continue to pray for one another and learn with one another. We'll see you next time.